Stop. Hey everyone, welcome to today's Program Yourself Thin podcast. Today we're talking about refocusing on your weight loss goals. You're going to need to refocus a lot of times on your weight mastery path because you're going to get off track a lot of times. It's just normal, natural thing that happens. Don't worry about it. The secret is to get good at refocusing on why you even want to do this. You need to nurture and cultivate your focus and motivation consistently. It's not something that's going to last. And even if you're inspired in the beginning, it's probably going to fade. That's not a normal thing, unusual thing. So relax about that. Okay. And get good at refocusing so that when you feel your motivation and focus drifting, you have the ability to get yourself back on track and refocused. So how do you do this? The best way to do it is to identify what your goal is and then connect to it. All right. So it's not enough just to say, I want to weigh X amount of pounds or I want to lose X amount of pounds. We need to step into that reality so that we internalize it and give it more meaning. And so the way to do this is to imagine the weight that you want to be at, that your ultimate goal is, and then imagine waking up tomorrow morning at that goal weight. And as clearly and as deeply as you can imagine this and feel it, the more motivation and focus you're going to get. So imagine waking up tomorrow morning at the weight that you want to live at. And imagine just lying in bed there for a moment before you even open your eyes and you're at your goal weight. Connect to that feeling. How would it feel to be at your goal weight? Now imagine hopping out of bed and you can wear whatever outfit you'd like to wear, right? What outfit you love to wear at your goal weight on that body, right? Imagine getting dressed in that outfit. Imagine walking into your day, wearing that outfit, looking that way, feeling that way. Right? Notice how you walk. Notice how you hold yourself, how you breathe. Notice how it feels emotionally. Notice how it feels physically. Is it easier to move? Is it easier to go up and down stairs, getting out of cars, things like this? And now imagine moving through your day tomorrow at your goal weight. Right? How does it feel? And again, the more subtle things that you're able to connect into, the better. How would it feel to go through your day, to have communications and conversations with different people that you're going to run into? Do you speak with more confidence? Do you just feel lighter? Do you feel happier? Right? Again, the more you connect into this, the more you use your imagination to do this, the more motivated and focused you're going to become. All right. So this is just a step to do it. If you want to go deeper into this process, what I really suggest if you really want to refocus is click the link in my bio or go to programyourselfthin.com and get the free hypnosis session I give you, because it's a deep dive into this exact process. It takes about 10 minutes and you can really, really connect to your goal. And once you do that, again, you're going to come out of that session feeling much more motivated. It's a literal kickstart session. I also give you a training video and email you every day. Great stuff to help you along this path. So I hope this helps you out. If anyone has any questions, feel free to ask them. And we'll get to them. What's up, Jennifer? How's it going? I always want to make sure. I see you put Jen and then Jennifer. I always want to make sure you're calling you what you like to be called there. All right, let's see. What's up, Lorena? How's it going? Make sure I didn't miss anyone. Hello, Dylan. What kind of diet do you follow, sir? I follow the diet I follow. I'm going to give you two answers and I will answer it. But the first thing I'll say is that I don't really follow a diet necessarily because I have customized my diet to what I like and keeps them at my goal weight. And so I will give you kind of the big picture diet I follow, but I want to make crystal clear that it is really built around me. And so I don't really talk so much about the diet I have because while I have some kind of general, philosophies I follow, ultimately I've designed my diet around me, my lifestyle, my preferences, what works for me, what I enjoy eating, these things, what's easy for me and all that. That being said, I guess, the average person would describe my diet as pescatarian, plant-based, whole foods, things of that nature. I don't eat a whole lot of processed food. So that's where I would say all of you should be on that path of less processed food, more whole natural foods. And anywhere in there, that's up to you. You like to eat a bunch of meat, knock yourself out, right? You don't eat meat, that's fine too. So maybe a Mediterranean diet might be the closest thing in terms of typical, diets that are out there. But again, I say that knowing that if you're a person who hates vegetables, that may not resonate with you, and you wouldn't follow it and you wouldn't get results. So ultimately you got to figure out what works for you. But I do think that there's, some kind of general best practices that work pretty well, I would say. Lorena says, I've heard that you need to add salts or electrolytes to water to get benefits. Is it a myth? Yeah, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. No way. Water's water. We've been drinking water for millions and millions of years without adding salts or electrolytes to it. Electrolytes. Oh, no, you'll be fine. Plain old water is great. As long as it's clean, you can filter the water, I suppose. But yeah, no need to add salts to it, as far as I know. I might be out of the loop on that one, though. What's up, Rachel? How's it going? All right. Dylan says, are you also in your 30s? My health has suddenly gotten bad, and I'm so shocked because my diet is pretty good compared to the average American. My 30s. I was in my 30s almost 20 years ago. I'm just joking, but I'll take that as a compliment. No, I'm almost 50. I'll be 50 in what, 2 weeks? Right. But I will, yeah, I'm sorry to hear about the health news. But yeah, I mean, I have high cholesterol, so I think what we're learning, and I was just literally just reading about this, is that the weight doesn't guarantee your health. I think it certainly supports it a lot of times, but activity matters a lot. What you're putting in your body, your lifestyle, these things matter more. And so I'm sorry to hear, I don't know what the health issues are, but certainly, I mean, whole natural foods always support anyone's health, right? Because that's what we've designed to eat over millions of years. But yeah, I feel bad for you dealing with that. What's up, Mario? How's it going? Lorena says, do you recommend to remove sugar as much as possible from the diet? Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. There's no need for sugar. I just read a book on sugar. And one thing I think it's important to remember is that sugar has no nutritional quality. There's no nutritional value to sugar at all. Okay. And for most of history, until about 200 years ago, no one ever ate sugar. There was no sugar. It was only grew, originally sugar cane, and it only grew in certain areas of the world. And it wasn't until, really slavery started becoming a thing. And that's when sugar started to kick up. And so yeah, there's no need for sugar, but at the same time, I may eat a little bit of sugar. I enjoy it. I treat it as like alcohol, right? There's no need for alcohol, right? It's something I like to do occasionally in very, moderate ways. There's no benefit to it. There's no need for it. It's just something I do. So I treat sugar the exact same way. But absolutely, if you're dealing with your weight, I think removing as much sugar as is comfortable for you at the time, I think is a valuable use of energy and resources, because it's not helping you in any way. It's harmful for your body. Again, a little bit of sugar, I think you'll be fine. But, we don't need a little bit of sugar. I mean, I see all different numbers, but how about this one? And I'm going to look up the most current one. Let's see. Amount of sugar consumed daily. No, what's the amount of sugar consumed daily by average? And actually, you know what it is? The annual one is crazy. You're never going to believe it. Go ahead and guess. Guess what you think. How much sugar do you think people eat? Right? Young adults, and even that was wrong. The average American consumes, guess how much? Guess weight-wise, how much sugar the average American consumes every year? I'll give you guys a second to guess this. Guess. What do you think? How much sugar do you think the average American consumes a year? You're going to believe this. Mario, look at Mario, right on the money. 100 pounds. 100 pounds of sugar a year. 100 pounds. Look at you, Letty. Yeah, right. We're pretty close. That's crazy, right? And that's a lot. It's a lot of sugar, right? And that's 100 pounds. 100 pounds of sugar a year. And again, it's like, it's completely no nutritional value, So yeah, so I would suggest that, moving the sugar out, and again, I don't think you just cut it out completely. I think that's overwhelming for most people, but starting to wean yourself off of it, getting off of it is going to support you with your weight loss. I can almost guarantee it, because the sugar just makes it harder for a bunch of reasons. Oh no, Mario, don't do this to me. Nicocado avocado is. I do not know. Who is it? Don't do this to me, Mario. Why do you do this to me? Oh, his transformation was so crazy. All right, great. So it's a person who has gotten healthier and more successful. As someone who, I don't know, eats 100 pounds of food a day. Who knows? But he says, do we share a birthday? The 29th? No, 27th. 27th. Pretty close though. And says, oh my God, Nikado is skinny now. It's shocking, but doubt Jim knows him. I do not know him. They don't know him. What was he? Like, just he was big and then he was small, but he always an influencer or something. Lorena said, I started checking food labels and it's crazy. Almost everything has it. Yes, absolutely, Lorena. Absolutely. You'll all be shocked. The vast majority of processed foods seem to have sugar in them, and so, yeah, it's shocking. When you start reading the labels, it's hard to believe. I mean, I still get surprised by it. And I've been doing this for 30 years, but it's like, just, you assume there's not sugar in things that there's sugar in. Just, that's the rule. Just believe that. Okay. Cause it's crazy. What's up, Bob? How's it going? Bob says 1,000 calories of junk food versus whole food are far apart. Oh, absolutely. I was just reading about that too. They did a study. They literally did a study where they had people were eating 2,000 calories of whole natural foods and processed food, and the 2,000 calorie of the processed food people gained weight. So yeah, they're miles apart. And that's just, and that, I always say that was news to me, because I always say like 2,000 calories of junk food versus 2,000 calories of whole natural foods. Yeah. Okay. That's today, but that 2,000 calories of junk food is going to cause you to want to eat a lot more. It cranks up your hunger. But this was a study, literally, they kept people at 2,000 calories. So they weren't cranking up the calories. The calories themselves were causing people to gain weight. So this is stuff I'm going to be sharing with this. I've been waiting for this book and I've been waiting for this information. It's all about the microbiome. And I've known about the microbiome for a number of years now, but it's a relatively new science and understanding. And so I was kind of waiting for more information to come out until I talked about it. But the microbiome is fascinating. And so that goes a far way towards explaining that a calorie is really not a calorie overall. If you're just like one day you compare a calorie to calorie, it'll be the same. But when you start to create a diet of processed food calories versus whole natural food calories, same thing, it's not, because it has other effects on your body and specifically your microbiome, especially. So yeah, they're very far apart for a number of reasons. Dylan says, you're 50. How's your health with this pescatarian diet? Real men usually eat meat, I know. That's true. I used to be a real man. I was 50 pounds heavier, but but it's funny. I will tell you, it's that I always say this to my gentlemen that are listening, that at least in America anyways, the journey of becoming thin and healthy went right through dealing with feeling not like a man, feeling like not masculine. And for someone who was born into a Greek immigrant, blue collar environment, that was very difficult. That was probably one of the hardest parts as well, is just, other than changing the eating and the behaviors and that stuff, that piece of it was very difficult. So yeah, letting go of meat was not welcomed by the people I knew at that time. Becoming healthier just in general, doing yoga, becoming a vegetarian. These were not things that they weren't comfortable initially, specifically for that reason. So yeah. So anyways, how's my health? My health, for all I can tell is amazing. I have the cholesterol issue, but that's a genetic thing. There's nothing I can do about that. And believe me, I tried, but it's a genetic thing. But other than that, all my health markers are wonderful. I mean, I got a shoulder that's kind of messing me up, but other than that, lots of energy, calm, relaxed, great numbers and all that. So usually pretty good. Yeah. That's this much sugar. Like, I'm overweight. Yeah, it's a lot of sugar for sure. Oh, he's a mukbang creator, was really overweight, basically known for it. Yeah. That mukbang stuff is disgusting in my I think it's so gross. Lorena says, in Estonia, we have food diets where daily calories are okay, but you can eat Nutella, ice cream, etc. Oh, we have that in America too. Yeah. I mean, most American diet is built around that. I mean, there's new ones like the paleo, keto, that's different now, but Weight Watchers, I mean, they do make distinctions and stuff, but you have to understand most of the diets are owned by big food companies. So they're not going to tell you to eat less of their stuff. I mean, Weight Watchers was owned by Heinz. A big part of their business model is selling their shitty foods. I don't know if they still do that, but so yeah, what you're going to get typically with diets, I think this will change, but up until now, they really have taught the importance of whole natural foods and the harmfulness of processed foods and ultra processed foods. So yeah. And again, in my program and in my life, I still eat bullshit sometimes. I eat Nutella occasionally, but I still eat ice cream sometimes. I still eat processed stuff occasionally. So I don't give it up completely, but I treat it like alcohol, And again, the more processed food you eat, it's unnatural, folks. So what do you want from me? It's unnatural. And it's going to affect your body in a lot of different ways. And it's going to make your weight loss and health harder. So what do you want? Right? It just is what it is. Jen says, especially when things say low fat, usually you just add more sugar to make up for the taste. Absolutely. That's absolutely true. Yep. And that was the big thing for a while, was low fat diets, right? So they took the fat out of the food and just made it up for sugar, And so again, processed food, you're just, again, knock yourselves out, but they're way smarter than you are. These are multi-trillion-dollar companies, and they're deceptive. They're sneaky. They got ultimate resources. It's just good luck, So it's funny because what we talk about, Nestle has some cereal, and I forget if it's called like super healthy cereal. I forget the name of it now, but it's some bullshit. It tricks you, right? It's healthy. It ain't healthy. Nothing that comes from Nestle is healthy. Just so you know, that can be your first kind of litmus test. If it's made by a big food corporation, it's not healthy. They don't sell healthy foods. Do they sell healthier foods than other foods? Yeah, okay, I'll give you that, sort of. But I don't mean to sound extreme, but I'm just saying like someone's got to draw a line in the sand. And again, I'm not saying I don't eat any of this stuff ever. I do. But you've got to start getting in your head that, it's going to be very hard to eat a high processed diet and master your weight. That's what I think. Kimberly says, been on a plateau forever, watching calories, but not losing weight as I should be. Feeling healthy, though. Europeans eat smaller portions and healthier options. Americans are obese in comparison. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but other countries are catching up to us, and that's an interesting thing too. Europe is good. They treat their foods better. Honestly, they've got stricter food labeling laws. They treat the food better than America. It's not perfect. Certainly like UK, as well. But that's true. It's just true. They don't have the fast foods we have, and that's true. But being on a plateau forever, and the calories, again, I will let you know if you're all hitting plateaus and you're struggling to lose the weight that you think you should. Because first of all, those calorie calculators are bullshit. Calories on the side of the box are all guesstimates. They're off by 20%. Sometimes some people estimate up to 70% for the frozen stuff. I don't know, but the calorie calculators are just guesstimates. People, you go and you put your stuff in there, your information, age, height, weight, different stuff. And then you put in how many calories you need to cut down to lose a certain amount of weight during a certain period of time. Noom does this, right? The weight loss calculator. It's fucking bullshit. And it's probably going to set you up for failure because you got this expectation in your mind that you're probably not going to achieve. And once you don't achieve it, there's something wrong with me. No, what's wrong with you is that every single person loses weight differently, loses weight quicker or slower. And so there is no weight loss calculator. And it's probably going to discourage you ultimately more than it's going to do anything positive for you, because it's just guesstimates. It's not that accurate. And your brain's going to glom onto the best case scenario. You're not going to achieve the best case scenario, and you're going to feel discouraged. So watch out for that. But yeah, with the plateau, plateaus happen, and there's a lot of reasons. You got to program yourself. Then we use plateaus as an opportunity to really practice maintenance and to optimize what you're doing. So, what's up, Savannah? Savannah says, can you share the name? I think I know what you're going to say. Can you share the name of the study? I would love to read it. I can't share the name of the study. I forget. And I was looking for it, and it kind of bummed me out that I was just reading this book. It's called The Diet Myth. Is his name Tim Proctor, I think. A big fan. I just got another one of his books I started reading, and I found out he wrote this one first. So I stopped reading that one. I want to read this one first. I love it. I think so far, I never know, we'll find out, but it's, I really like what he's saying, because he's bringing a lot of science into the microbiome and into weight loss, because weight loss is fascinating scientifically. And I will tell you this, people don't know what the fuck's going on. That's what's going on. It's a very weight loss science seems to be lagging behind a lot of other sciences, like psychology. Psychology, if that's going to consider as a science, that's that lags behind. Now when we have neuroscience, we have better scan for the brains. We're starting to catch up with it, because psychology, what was it based on? For years, it was based on what people said, theories, concepts, ideas. Hey, guess what? So is weight loss. And so weight loss is catching up now too. But this microbiome thing, to me, is a missing piece of the whole weight loss puzzle. And even learning about it years ago, it really kind of described and a lot of things that I was seeing with my eyes but couldn't explain scientifically. Things like why people start cutting calories down and don't lose weight right away, and why is that? Or why someone will cut calories and start losing weight real quick, and the other person doesn't really lose much weight at first, and then all of a sudden starts to 2 months later. And so how's that going on? And what if you study this stuff, you quickly find out they don't have answers for this. They don't know. Science doesn't have the answers for everything. I always say, the example I use, just a little bit off topic, but like muscle knots. You get a knot in your muscle. They don't even know what that is. I always thought that was shocking to me. But anyway, so when it comes to weight loss, there's a lot of stuff they don't know. And so when you hear like the newest science thing about weight loss, a lot of times it's just bullshit, but we're going to get there. We're going to get there. And I think the microbiome and understanding that is the path we're going to take to get there. But the microbiome thing brings in that missing piece, because you have to understand that you've learned about weight loss primarily through giant corporations that want to sell you shitty food and diets and medical remedies. So you're learning most of your weight loss has come through corporations that want to sell you bullshit from being overweight. They don't want you to lose weight. And so that's why you hear, a calorie is a calorie. It don't matter. McDonald's calorie this. I went on a McDonald's diet and I lost a bunch of weight. And it's like, you're always getting that. Or it's an energy imbalance. You just got to move more. Nope. And so it's like, there's a bunch of bullshit put in our way to finally get to the truth. But I will let you know the simple truth. The simple truth is to start eating a more whole natural food diet. It's simple, because we've lived on the planet for millions of years eating a whole natural food diet. And so if you go to a whole natural food diet, whether that's meat-based or vegetable-based, you're probably gonna be a lot better off than eating a standard American diet, and your weight will probably reflect that. So, but the study, I forget. I don't know. Yeah, but that's from the book. It's in the beginning. So yeah, I don't even remember. And I could give you the information about it. I swear it was monkeys too. I swear it was a study with monkeys where they fed them a diet of natural food and fast food, I believe. And that was it. I don't have the book with me. I'd look it up, but it was a little bit of a vague reference to it. And I was a little surprised by that. Usually academics kind of cite everything. So anyways, Lorena says, this kind of diet is not good, right? I'm not sure what kind of diet you're referring to. Dylan says, yeah, I got heart disease and doctors told me it's probably my diet, but it can't be. Mario said, LOL, real man. What's your diet, Dylan? Oh no, Mario said, to be a real man in America, you got to be obese. That's not that far off, Mario. You know what I mean? Like I will tell you, it's to be a real man in America, you got to eat a lot of meat. You know what I mean? You're drinking beers, you know what I mean? You're chicken wings, you're watching football. Like it is a stereotype, but absolutely the average American man is overweight, and the average American person is overweight, but this is true. It is true. Guys, like to focus on your health as a guy, it's changing, it's getting better. But I will tell you, 30 years ago, when I started walking this path, I'm not going to say it, but so yeah, it was not something that was celebrated, and it certainly wasn't something that made me seem like a manlier man, but I was okay with that, got through that. Dylan says, where do you get protein? Dylan says, not to be mean, but you look very thin. I don't take that as mean. I never care how anyone thinks of what I look like. I'm smack dab in the middle of the healthy range of BMI chart, which isn't the end all be all, but I'm very happy with my weight. But yeah, where do you even get protein? I don't know. I don't take this the wrong way, Dylan, but when I hear that question, I just know that, I don't know how good your diet is if you don't even know if you're asking that question. But anyways, protein, the amount of protein we need, there's another screw job over on Americans, is the amount of protein you need, because people are so obsessed with protein. Why do you think that is? You know, I love asking this question. Why are you so obsessed with protein? Is it because everyone around you is protein deficient and all your ancestors were protein deficient? And that's why you always, every year when you go to the doctors, they give you a protein deficiency test? Or do you think it might be because there's a ton of money in the meat industry and they've conditioned you to over index the importance of protein, you know? So, but, someone says, I do wish to be this thin, but I guess I'm genetically not that blessed. Well, maybe the next go around in life you will be. Lorena says, but also we have diets that are really healthy and almost only clean food and a little bit processed. I mean, that's the diet I would recommend. You know what I mean? I don't think you can go wrong with that one. But Jim says, I've lost 16 pounds since started listening to you, but still got 28 to go. The salads have been amazing. Hey, Jim. All right. Haven't heard from Jim in a couple of days. Look at him doing great. Congratulations. Great job. Yeah, just keep going, and so, yeah, just relax with it. I mean, 16 pounds already is wonderful. I mean, that's about as quick as you want to go with it, really, but great job. Marina says, actually, I've lost multiple times weight when I even eat more than calculator recommends. Oh, yeah, sure. The calculator is just a guess, Oh, okay. Savannah found it. Yeah. So found it online. Are all calories created equal? ? Your gut microbes don't think so. Yeah. The gut microbe thing is fascinating to me. And again, it was the missing piece that explained a lot of things I've seen for the last 20 years with my clients that I couldn't explain scientifically. And the microbiome really does explain a lot of that. Like I said, I really kind of hesitate to do it. I took a whole program, a whole course on it 5 years ago, but it's such a new science. You understand the microbiome is you have a microbe community in your gut. You have you're more non-human cells than human cells because you got all these microbes on you. It's creepy when you think about it, but that's what we are. And so these microbes are all along your gut, and you have different microbe communities depending on what kind of diet you eat, what kind of lifestyle you live, your environment, and your genetics a little bit. So it's really kind of interesting that this is kind of the missing piece. So they've known the microbes are there for a long time, but it wasn't until they start genetically testing them to realize there's different types of them. And that's really what opened the door to this. And so it is a relatively new science, but it's fascinating stuff. And it absolutely seems to have a huge impact on our weight. They've done studies with mice where they'll raise overweight, obese mice and thin mice. They'll shift their microbiomes and they'll feed the mice the same amount, but they switch the biomes and they'll gain or lose weight because of that. So the microbiome has all sorts of impacts, but one of them is it impacts how many calories you extract from the food you eat. So I could eat 1,000 calories and maybe I'll extract 700 calories of it. And someone obese might extract 950 calories of it, you see? And so, again, but that microbiome, you can influence it. You know what I mean? Like you're not just born with it. You can cultivate a healthier microbiome. And for me personally, I could understand some of the changes that happened to me, but I completely transformed my diet. It wasn't just that I ate the same bullshit and cut it down. I dramatically changed the content and quality of my diet. And I think that's transformed my microbiome and led to other changes that go beyond just losing weight. So, oh, KT actually did Zoe. Okay, yeah, Tim Spector's program based on microbiome. The doc on Netflix he was part of was interesting. It's called You Are What You Eat. Yeah, and I watched that too. Yeah. No, I didn't watch that. I didn't watch that one yet. I just watched the one. It was making me think that because I don't know if you saw the one, unless that was the one. Remember the one on Netflix where they had the twin study? I forget the name of that one. Was that You Are What You Eat? I told you, I read so many books. I watched so many documentaries. I literally can't even keep them straight anymore. That's why it's like, if I do remember a book, it's like, it's an outlier book in my mind because they kind of blur together. But anyways, yeah, I was thinking that I'm like, cause this Tim Spector guy is really big. A lot of his work, cause again, studying identical twins is really important when it comes to the weight. It excludes a lot of factors. And so anyways, yeah, that twin study, I was wondering if he was part of that. So I don't know if that was the same documentary or not. What's up, Carla? Carla says, do you believe anyone with BMI 30 could be healthy? Yeah, I mean, people could be healthy. There's obese people can be healthy. They're outliers. Okay. It's an unusual thing in that category, but, you can be, and, but it's unusual. And so, yes, your weight overall, again, there's always outliers. You understand? but the average person, their weight is absolutely going to show up and impact their health. But using just the BMI chart with a normal person, not a bodybuilder or someone's really short, the BMI thing, even if you're in the overweight range, it starts becoming less so as you towards obese. But even in the overweight range, you can still be really healthy. So that's why I say when you're choosing your goal weight, if health's the main thing, you don't necessarily have to be in that normal weight range. That they're finding now that, again, that BMI chart is a rule of thumb. You know what I mean? It's not the end all be all. Anyways, Carla says, I can't seem to calm down. I always want the weight loss to happen faster. Yeah, but I mean, Carla, like, what do you do to calm down? People say this stuff all the time. I'm not picking on you, but people, I can't calm down. I can't calm down. Well, what do you do to calm down? Drink coffee, eat shit food, stay up late, scroll on my phone, not exercise. He's like, oh, well, you know what I mean? So again, I can't seem to calm down. Not being able to calm down is an effect. What are you doing to create that effect is probably a better question and focus. And I bet you are probably doing lots of things that are stressing you out, I would guess. What's up, Eva? Eva says, have changed my life from listening to your advice for 4 months, 23 pounds down, having sugar with a 6-week, having surgery with a 6-week recovery time on Monday. So scared I'm going to put it back on during recovery at home. Well, congratulations, Eva. That's screenshot worthy. Are you in the program, Eva? I feel like your name seems really familiar to me. But from listening to your advice. Yeah. So I don't know if you're in the program, but again, I mean, what I'm saying works for you. Okay. And so since you get the surgery going on, it would be the perfect time to go through the program, because the program's an 8-week program. And so for your 6 weeks of recovery, you would be inundating yourself with all this great hypnosis stuff. And that will absolutely help you thrive during the recovery and probably help you recover faster too. So I don't say that lightly, I guarantee the program, but if just listening to me works, and if you're already in the program, I'll just restart you. But I'm getting the feeling you're probably not, now that when I look at your question, because you probably wouldn't be scared either, because we go through that in the program. But anyways, again, I'm not sitting here to try to sell the program, but I would definitely, in your situation, because you have surgery and you're just nervous about it, having the program to be able to listen to during your recovery time would be a great way to spend that time. Kimberly says, thoughts on Ozempic? Muscle loss is scary as we age. Yeah, watch out. I mean, that's one of the issues with Ozempic. I mean, that's one of the issues with weight loss. You lose weight, you lose muscle anyways. But with Ozempic, yeah, that is one of the things. I'm not going to scare anyone here about Ozempic. I don't want to scare anyone with Ozempic because it's relatively safe for, diabetics anyways. That's where most of the studies have been done for the last 20 years. But one of the big questions is, and again, there's other things that potentially may be fears, but I think they're overblown, the thyroid thing and the pancreatitis stuff. But I think that the muscle loss, that's something that is definitely something to consider, because the weight loss is happening so quick, and they have not studied these weight loss medicines with the healthy population extensively yet. They've studied extensively with diabetics because that's what originally it was designed for, but they haven't studied extensively with a healthy population. And so basically that's what's happening now. You know what I mean? If you're on Ozempic, you're kind of a guinea pig a little bit, you know what I mean? And so that is one of the issues, that the weight loss happens so fast. And, is it how much that's muscle loss? And so that's a big concern then as you get older. So, again, I always say Ozempic, I'm not a hater on it. I'm not going to sit here and demonize it. It's not really what we're doing here. Program Yourself Thin is really about taking your weight loss and wrap it in personal development. Really, Program Yourself Thin is built around becoming the best version of you that you can be. And one piece of that is weighing what you want. So it's a much more holistic, comprehensive, personal development focused approach to mastering your weight. And so I always say, I think Ozempic's great if you don't have the desire, the time, the energy to invest in that approach, then knock yourself out. Get the Ozempic and lose the weight and take it from there. But I'm not a huge fan of it because I have a different goal, though. You know what I mean? And so Ozempic doesn't fix the problem. It just deals with the symptoms. The core problem still exists. And so I'd rather go right and deal with the core problem. But that's just my philosophy. Jen says protein gives a shit. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, Kimberly, you look perfect, healthy, and value your podcast. Thank you, Kimberly. Rachel says there's another BMI called Smart BMI where you can be in the lower end of overweight category but still be healthy. Yeah. Okay, great. Yeah. So, yeah, they really got to get that out there. You know what I mean? Because that's been they've known that for a bit, that a lot of people that are in that, let's say, there's the heavyweight or the overweight category, the first half of it, a lot of those people can be sometimes healthier than normal people. So I think that's an important thing to internalize and understand. And again, like I said, you could be an obese and still be healthy, but it just becomes less likely, you know? Yeah. Kimberly Burns says, I love the holistic approach. It's sustainable. Absolutely. And sustainability to me is the most important thing of all. I don't know. Does anyone not agree with that? I don't know. I find that funny, the arguments I get with people sometimes I just want to lose the weight first, Jim. And then I can't sustain it if I don't lose it. Okay. Eva says, I was thinking about joining the program during this time, and now you convinced me. Well, super, Eva. Yeah, super. And if you can't get the coaching version of it, okay, because if you get to talk to me each week, I'll help you right through that. And again, ironically, the recovery time, I have someone in the program, the coaching version too. I don't know if Paul is here. She's usually here for these here, but she was in recovery from surgery, and being able to talk to her, it's helpful because it's tough. Recovery is tough from surgery, and understand that. I'll just say this real quick. I think it's important to appreciate that, when you get surgery, it takes a lot out of you. I mean, I think, we all know that, right? But it takes out of you mentally and emotionally. And so, calm down and relax. Like when you feel nervous or scared, that slows down, or it uses up anyways, we'll say, the resources that you could be putting towards healing up and recovering. So, yeah, look forward to seeing you in the program. Lorena says, you live in USA? Yeah, I'm in the United States. I live in Massachusetts. Oh, there's a study, PMC something. I don't know if that's, I'll try and find it too. I literally look for it too. So. Mario says, it's crazy I called gay for taking care of myself in any way. It's kind of very sad. Yeah, I've been called that many times. Says, who says that to you? That's awful. I'm sorry people say mean stuff like that. It just is what it is. It's a little bit better than it was 30 years ago. But again, but this is why I always say to you all that with it's like this for all of us. Everyone's got like their own kind of unique challenges. And I say, like, a lot of times, like people that live with other people that aren't supporting them or literally are trying to actively sabotage them. This is what I'm talking about. Like when you're in a situation like that, you really have to develop a bulletproof mindset. It's not about, I wish they wouldn't say those things to me. Who gives a shit? People are going to say what they're going to say. Who gives a shit? So like whatever, I forget his name now, but he was just, real men to me. It's like, and I don't even know if he's serious or joking. I don't care. I don't give a shit. I've heard enough of it. It's not about, I say this to all of you, it's not about hoping other people will change. It's about changing yourself so that when other people say dumb shit, it doesn't affect you. You can do that. It takes a little bit of practice. Okay. But when you get there, that's the way to go, because people are always going to say dumb shit or they're going to do dumb shit, and you can't control other people. You can only control yourself. And so when you get to that point, though, it feels amazing. And I don't care what your situation is. Some situations are harder than others, granted, and it may take you a little bit longer. But no matter what, I mean, I've worked with so many people that live in situations where there's saboteurs around. You know what I mean? They will bring the bullshit in and will say negative comments to them. And it's a challenge. It's hard to deal with that. But you can. You know what I mean? And the secret is not to waste your energy hoping and wishing and trying to get other people to change. It's focusing on yourself and creating a bulletproof mindset so that anyone says anything, it just bounces off. This is one of the greatest things I got in my hypnosis training. They put a force field around us. And so at all times, I've got a force field around me. And when a negative suggestion, I think everything hypnosis, but when someone says some dumb shit, I think of it as a suggestion. And the suggestion hits the force field and falls to the ground. It doesn't get to me, So someone could sit here and say whatever they want to me about how I look or what I'm saying. I'm a liar. I look like shit. I'm skinny fat. I'm too skinny. I'm too fat. Whatever. I don't give a shit. I don't care. It hits this wall and it never gets to here because I don't care. So, it's I suggest you all develop that too, because again, we just live in a world with a bunch of dipshits and you can't change them all, so anyways. And it says it's okay. Many people hear it. I'm more worried about my health than anything people say. Yeah, exactly, Mario. That's a thing. Savannah said this study is really focused on a whole food, fiber-rich diet versus processed diet. Yeah, exactly. And that's what, that's why I say I don't really even like to, I mean, I guess that's what I recommend, that's what I say. And I find it funny that there's not even a word for that diet really, that's really out there, so a lot of times I'll say Mediterranean, but I kind of like what I would suggest to you. Yeah. It's whole foods, like real foods, in a generation, we've completely gotten away from regular food. It's crazy how it's happened. Fiber being at the top of the list, nutrients, density, and variety being at the top of the list. Protein's important. I'm not saying protein's not important, but fiber I find to be the number one ingredient that's been stripped from our diets. And if you eat more fiber in the forms of fruits and vegetables, I think that you're well on your way to setting a solid foundation to truly master your weight. And I don't know how you do it otherwise. I'm not saying you can't. Again, there's always the guy, he lost a bunch of weight on a McDonald's diet. Yeah, okay, fine. But I don't think that sets you up for long-term success. I don't. And but go ahead, knock yourselves out. I don't give a shit. I don't care what people eat or what they do, but I give you my best. Kimberly says that fiber supplements okay. I wouldn't rely on fiber supplements. Again, that's that American thinking, and it's just dieters always do this. Again, I'm not blaming you all for it. You've been conditioned to think this way, but I think in a holistic, comprehensive way. And so I don't want to supplement like a fiber supplement because, well, now you're just getting the fiber. What about the nutrients? You know what I mean? What about all the other things that come in a fruit and vegetable that they haven't even identified yet? What about the nutrients that come in a fruit and vegetable that they have identified? Don't you want that too? Don't you want to start calibrating your taste buds to natural flavors? So I would, again, would fiber supplements be better than no fiber? Sure. But again, where I want to get you thinking over to, I think where you're going to get the best results is when you start creating a diet that is a majority whole natural foods, fruits, vegetables, greens, beans, whole grains, meat, if you eat meat, whole natural foods. Not exclusively. It doesn't only have to be that. You can still have some bullshit here and there. But again, it's starting to create a diet around that. And you can't even imagine how amazing you feel, So anyways, yeah, everybody says, yes, why do we give others so much power or influence over us? Yeah, self-love's most important. Agreed. Absolutely. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's you are what you eat. Okay, yeah, right. Yeah, I saw that. That was good. It was a little underwhelming at the end. I thought a little bit. I don't know what I was expecting, but yeah, but I thought it was very interesting. Anyways, yeah, you are what you eat, right? Athena, obese people can be healthy. No way, Jim. Yeah, they can. Again, it's an outlier thing. I'm saying the majority of obese people are not healthy. Okay, but there are absolutely obese people that are technically healthy that outrun you. That outrun me. Shit. I mean, again, I don't want to split hairs because again, the BMI thing, that would define that if you're going to use that measurement, you can have outliers, like NFL linemen, they may qualify a shorter one, right? They may qualify as obese and they could beat me in a sprint and they're technically healthier than me, so yes, it is possible. It's not the norm. It's not the usual. It's not something I would recommend. I don't think it's the best choice, for the average person, but it can happen, She says, increasing fiber intake from whole foods has been a game changer for me. Yeah, agreed. A game changer. It's absolutely transformative. I always say this when I started eating salads 5-6 years ago for lunch. I can't explain. I didn't have the words to say. I didn't know this then, but it was the Ozempic effect. My hunger went off a cliff. It was crazy. And that's the most crazy thing I did. And 25 years ago, I became a vegetarian. I was a huge meat eater. I was a huge processed food eater. And I started becoming a vegetarian and healthier foods. And that was a big shift. But the salads every day was a bigger shift because I was really loaded up on the nutrient density, variety, and fiber. And that was the biggest shift in my hunger. It was crazy. And it made everything else easier. That was the most transformative thing. So anyways, JK says, yes, sustainability sets PYT apart from the rest. It does. It absolutely does. Because PYT, Program Yourself Thin, is built around sustainability. It's built around living at your goal weight, not just getting there for a week. It's about living there. And getting to your goal weight and living at your goal weight require two completely different strategies. And you have never, ever learned the strategies for living at your goal weight, you know? Blue Run Binge says, what does it mean to restart the program for someone in it already? Restarting it is just that those daily emails you get, I can restart them. So you get them, because a lot of people like the reminder, of each and every day. But a new cool thing that's happening too, and it's always up to you. You can always just restart the program. Just shoot me an email and I'll restart it and you'll start getting emails again. But the other thing that's coming down the pike now is if you're in the program, you want to continue with the sessions, but you want new ones, is that's the Thrive program, and you'll have access to that as well. That's something I've been doing for, what's it been, 2 months now. But there's just daily hypnosis sessions, forever. And they're different though. And the different sessions, it's always you have to kind of balance. Repetition is really important to install certain ideas and mantras, but then keeping it fresh is important too, so you don't get bored. And so every day with the Thrive program, just into the future, you're always getting different sessions, but there's certain commonalities with each session. So I'm installing certain ideas deeply because I'm repeating them over and over, but kind of on the surface level, it's always like a different mantra and focus each day too. So, yeah. Kimberly says, any whole food cookbooks you recommend? Oh, I am not a good cookbook person. I will tell you that. I don't hate cooking, and I'm okay at it. I feel like at some point in my life, I will cook more, but I feel like I'm in a stage in my life where I'm kind of, I've been raising kids, running a business, living my life. So a lot of that energy is going there, but so I'm not really a cookbook person. I kind of just do what I do and just repeat it. But so what's a good cookbook? I don't even know. I think, I guess maybe Dr. Greger, who's my hero. I swear he just put a cookbook out recently. So I'd recommend him, Dr. Greger. He does How Not to Die. You can look, that's a great book too. You should read that along with it. That book's better than a cookbook, I think. But anyways, Kimberly says, how much is the program? The program is $297. And you can learn about it at Program Yourself Then. Or if you've never seen me before and you want to go deeper on what I'm saying for free, go to Program Yourself Then, or click the link in my bio and get the free hypnosis session I give you. It's a Kickstart session. It's called The New Thin Me. I give it to you. It's free. I made a video for you. I suggest watching that. Let me kind of explain what I'm talking about here in detail, kind of the whole thing. It's a 20-minute video. That's free. And then I email you every day. A lot of the stuff's kind of support you, and that's free too. So yeah, go check that out first. I'd suggest, and then if you like it, go get the program. Carrie says, how old is that chart? What chart? I don't remember now. KT says there are plenty of people with a ton of muscle who'd be considered obese by BMI chart. It's not 100%. Yeah, exactly. Athena says, I recently put my goal weight in the BMI chart, and gosh, that's a very low BMI. Now I'm second guessing. It seems impossible. Yeah, Athena, I agree with you that BMI chart does that BMI chart's very interesting because that's been the BMI chart for a long time. But what's changed over that time is Americans' weights keeps going up. So reality is relative. And so now we look at BMI charts. Oh my God, so don't worry about that, Athena. You know what I mean? Like again, I always say this, the BMI chart's just one data point of how to decide your goal weight. And so what I'd suggest to you is that, like I was working with a client today, they're like 20 pounds ago, I felt a lot better, and so for you, Athena, and for any of you that have a big weight loss goal, break it up into pieces, break it up into 20-pound chunks, and focus on that. And then when you get to that 20-pound goal, notice how you feel, notice how you did it, and then get ready for the next leg. I always say, weight loss, I think a good way to approach it is the Mount Everest analogy where, again, people with diets, they think they're just going to start the diet and straight line of success. Maybe, but that's unusual. That's not the norm for people that lose weight. What's more likely is the Mount Everest analogy is you climb up a bit and then you go to base camp and acclimate, then climb up again, go to base camp and acclimate. That's a more realistic way to master your weight. And I know no one wants to hear that, but that metaphorically is kind of what I'm talking about. That break it up into 20-pound chunks and it may not feel so overwhelming. That may help you. High protein, high fiber diet minus Ozempic. Yes, agreed. Because by the way, nature's Ozempic. What's Ozempic? It's a medication that causes your body to produce more GLP-1 hormone. Okay. This is a hormone your body naturally produces. And you know how your body produces more of it? when you eat more whole natural foods, they have a lot of fiber and natural protein in them because those foods take longer to go through your body and they stimulate the production of more GLP-1 hormone. That's why I talk about the GLP or the Ozempic effect from eating the salads, because I'm assuming my body started creating more GLP-1 hormone that reduced my hunger. So they don't tell you a lot about that, but Don said, I think the speed you lose it at is the problem with muscle loss. Yeah, exactly. Because the Ozempic, you're cranking up the GLP-1 hormone so unnaturally and so quickly all at once that it creates a rapid weight loss, and a lot of that's muscle loss. So that is probably going to be the big thing with Ozempic moving forward, and Ozempic type medicines is the rapid muscle loss. And even even these pharmaceutical companies, that's the big thing that they're kind of nervous about. And so we'll see what happens with it, but that's probably the biggest scare of it. KT's any cues on Ozempic? Let me know. I was on it 15 months and would never take it again. Just my experience. Oh, I'd love to hear that, KT. Well, yeah, please share. Why would you never take it again? On it for 15 months. Well, yeah. How much weight did you lose? What was your experience? Why'd you stop? And why would you never take it again? Love to hear. Love to hear. Yeah, she said, simply prioritize protein, fiber, and lift weights 4 times a week with a trainer. Game changer. Yeah, no need to track. Agreed. I couldn't agree more with what she's saying. What's up, Jasmine? How's it going? Savannah says, no point losing the weight if you don't plan to keep it off. Right? And Savannah knows. Savannah's lost 110 pounds. Okay. So yeah, I would listen to her. What's the point? I always say it to you guys. And it's like, I know, okay, the one of you that want to do a relatively normal diet, even though they're all stupid and extreme, but the ones of you that want to do crazy diets, like the strict crazy fastings, it's like, why? You know what I mean? Like the worst, the goofiest ones, like if you're going to water fast, why? So you can lose 20 pounds only to put it back on and feel discouraged. Like, it's such a short-sighted view that it's crazy. Jasmine said, I stalked your account yesterday, and to say I decided to try to have a pleasure day, but I literally binged. I can't imagine you do that every week. Well, Jasmine, I mean, it's like, it's like going to a martial arts school, and it's like, oh, it's sparring day. We're going to spar, and you spar, first day, I want to spar. I'm going to go start on sparring day, and you get the shit kicked out. There's not only have I been doing this for 30 years, but program yourself then is we build around the weight mastery pyramid, right? Mindset, lifestyle, eating. And I make the pyramid shape to imply the importance of each level. Mindset's the biggest one right on the bottom, then lifestyle there, and then the eating one. And so the pleasure days are at the very tip of the thing, So yeah, I'm not surprised that you literally binged, because you have literally no mindset supporting that technique. You know what I mean? So I hope you don't take that as any I'm blanking on the word, any reflection of the program. That's one tiny little piece of it. And it's funny to start with a pleasure day. Why'd you start with a clean day? What's up, Carmen? Carmen said, yeah, it's sad, but so true. The real men or real women thing is dumb. I would agree. I know some people believe it's not, and hey, teach their own. I love y'all. I could care less. Jim says, yeah, I've gotten used to being called a princess for eating salads. It doesn't even bother me anymore. Yeah, exactly, Jim, right? I mean, at some point, okay, sure. Who gives a shit? Says, what do you eat your salad with? I eat my salad with chopsticks. I usually eat my salad out of a big bowl with chopsticks. Jim says, but gosh, I've heard the real men thing way too many times. Yeah, I mean, it's still, I say it's got a little bit better, but it's not, it still is that way. So that's why I tell you guys, I think women have it worse in society when it comes to weight and a lot of stuff, but I think guys got it bad in a different way too, and that's one of the big ones, it's, and again, it depends on the person and the situation, it depends on the guy, obviously, but for me anyways, I would say I was a guy's guy, put it that way, blue collar guy, raised around blue collar guys my whole life. And so all of a sudden that was a very hard thing. That's why I talk about the self-image piece, that was aimed straight at my self-image. That part of my self-image changed, because I would have been at some point in my life, I would have been the guy saying those things to someone else. So I'm not proud of it, but you evolve, hopefully, that we're allowed to evolve. But so I know what it's like to be that person, and I know what it's like to hear that shit from that person, but whatever, who gives a shit, let people say what they want to say. Joan says, yeah, How Not to Die cookbook. That's what it's called. Right. Yeah. So, I haven't seen the cookbook, but I think he's great. So I'm sure whatever he says, I would. And I don't love cookbooks because I'm kind of lazy, but definitely, I think that's a good one. Let's see here. KT says, I'm assuming that kind of stuff is coming from other dudes. So unfortunate. It's usually other guys, and sometimes it's certain women. Claudia said, I'm not losing any more weight. I've lost 11 pounds since April. Listening to you, I'm a bit stuck. Yeah, but it's always so hard. Like when I hear that, I get it, but it's funny because I was like, one of my clients I work with, I had her track, what she eats, not calorie wise, but just what do you eat, and write it down, for 2 weeks. And, so I can look at it and I can quickly give advice. So without knowing what you're doing and knowing you're not in the program, it's hard to kind of direct you. But, what I would say is don't give up. Okay. Understand that plateaus are a normal part of the process, and just stick with it and keep reflecting and looking for how you can improve things in a comfortable way. And, I think that's the way to kind of move forward with it, because plateaus are completely normal. And I would say they're unavoidable. I don't know how much weight, it depends how much weight you have to lose, but plateaus are pretty much unavoidable. At the very least, even if they're unavoidable, what's a plateau? You know what I mean? Like, it depends how much you weigh. Someone who weighs every day, who's hyper obsessed, doesn't lose weight for 3 days, might feel like they're in a plateau, right? Someone else who weighs once a week, it might be 3 weeks, and they lose any weight. Now they feel like a plateau. So plateau doesn't have a technical definition even, And so people, what is a plateau and how long you been there? But great job anyways, dropping the first 11 pounds. Santina, loving the hypnosis session, staying calm and making better decisions for 3 days now. Small steps. Awesome job, Santina. And you're Santina in the program. And I think you wrote to me yesterday. So I don't know if you're getting I don't know if you're gonna get access to the calls today or not. So if it's not today, you'll start getting them next Tuesday and Thursday. And by the way, anyone that I've given a week of coaching call to, if for some reason you don't get it, please let me know. I overlook things all the time. And so just let me know. You're not bugging me, and I want you to get those sessions. I just forgot, or there was some computer glitch or something. So please let me know if I said that to you and you didn't get it. But great job, Santina. Jim says, yeah, my family members, it seems crazy to them that I'm eating healthy. Yeah. Dylan says, man, you're really mean to people. Well, I eat potatoes, meat, and eggs mostly, also fruit and snacks sometimes, some bread, but very little. Are you a trainer or a dietitian? I am not. I'm neither. I am a yoga instructor, if that counts, but definitely not a dietitian or nutritionist. I'm a hypnotist. That's my main thing. KT says, I lost almost 25 pounds on Wegovy. The side effects were horrible and got worse over time. What were some of the side effects, if you don't mind saying that, KT? Because I know I've heard some of them, but I'm curious what yours might have been with it. KT says, even lowering the dose, the side effects physically were awful and mentally. People don't talk about the mental side effects. I had no idea how bad it was until I got off. I was a shell of myself. That's very interesting to me. That's very interesting. What were some of the mental side effects? That's something I'm fascinated by. And I'm so curious about, because I just read a book on Ozempic. And one of the things I had not known is I was talking about the GLP-1. You have those cells in your gut that produces a GLP-1 hormone. But what they're realizing is that you have GLP-1 receptors in your brain. And so that is a fascinating aspect of this medicine, is how it affects your reward and braking system, and what the mental effects are, because it's not just like a hunger thing, is what I'm saying. And they even were going to study it for like substance abuse, gambling abuse, things of like addictive behaviors. And they were wondering if it could help that, because it's not just a hunger thing. They were wondering because of this brain thing. And those studies seem to be inconclusive so far. But the point was that it's because, again, we don't think of our body as a holistic system a lot of times, right? And so when you start taking this medicine, there are, again, there are effects, there's other effects that happen. And so the mental one, I'm fascinated by, it's like the antidepressants. That was one that, they had antidepressants. They didn't realize until people started getting into, they prescribed them for decades. And it wasn't until people started getting into their advanced years that it was turning out that it was impacting Alzheimer's. It was putting more at risk for it. And so, there are effects that may not show up right away. And there's effects that we aren't focused on that are there. So the mental ones I'm always focused on, because that was a big one of the antidepressants, that they kind of create that effect, right? Where you feel like a shell of yourself, where you feel like you're not thinking the same way. You're not feeling the highs. You know what I mean? You're not feeling the lows. Okay. But you're not feeling the highs either. You're a bit numb, and so there was that worry potentially from these medicines as well. And so I don't know, you know what I mean? That people, they're not getting the enjoyment out of the food, but they're not getting the enjoyment out of life. That's a concern potentially. And again, I'm not sitting here trying to demonize it or scaremonger anyone, but these are real things. It is a new medicine that they don't know much about. So it's interesting to hear that. Yeah, KT, I didn't enjoy food or anything else really anymore. Just my experience, but it was awful. Never again. Yeah. Again, I mean, that is the food thing. I will tell you that's what I was reading this book. That's what I was most interested in, because what I find working with people, almost 6,000 people I've worked with over the last 20 years privately with weight, is that a lot of times people are using the food to deal with their emotions, whether it's to celebrate great emotions or feel good, or whether it's to mitigate and feel less bad. And so I was wondering what's going to happen to people on these medicines when all of a sudden they're not using food to deal with their emotions. I mean, you still got the emotional stuff going on there. And so I'm fascinated by that. That's one of the things I look for all the time, is what impact is this going to have on people's emotional management strategies? Because all of a sudden the food just disappears as using it as that. And so I'm curious to see where that all goes. So anyways, just one more aspect of it. It says, unbelievable that you have so many views and topics about weight loss. Every life is different. It's crazy, isn't it? It's funny. I was having this conversation yesterday with a long-term client who's literally a certified PYT coach. And I was saying, weight loss, this is the sucky part of it, is that weight loss is it's in the realm of substance abuse, in the sense that it's not like it's one thing we got to fix. You know what I mean? It's not an acute little thing we can fix. Your weight loss and your weight there's so many factors, and I wish it wasn't so complex and holistic, but I would never, that's why I don't believe in the Ozempic as an ultimate solution, because I don't really think that it's just, it's a little Band-Aid, on a problem, and it's helping you lose weight. It's helping people lose weight. And I'm not arguing that, but it's not dealing with a lot of the deeper things. And, so yeah, every time we talk about stuff, it's always different, right? Because there's just, it's unlimited. I was just looking, I've done over 400 podcast episodes in the last 2 years, right? So it is, and I talk every day for an hour, 2 hours, I'm obsessed with this stuff, because again, for me, it's life or death. My dad died of a heart attack. So it's like, I will say that's a pattern I noticed, that a lot of people like that go into helping people with weight or health, like have a parent that died at a young age, some weight health related issue, because even that Tim Proctor is I think it was his dad, died of a heart attack at 57. My dad died at 54. And it certainly helps to put you on this path. But yeah, there's unlimited things to talk about with this, right? KT said I could go on and on, but I just never take it again. Hair falling out, extreme nausea, depression. Yeah. Yes. And he says, my husband's on Ozempic. He has side effects too. Yeah. KT said, yeah. Yeah. Again, and I'm not saying, like I said, I'm not gonna be a person, because I know I have people in the program that are on it. I have, people I know that are on it. So it's, I'm not demonizing it. I understand why people do it. I think people get so desperate, it's let me do it, but, again, I like this approach, because by the way, it's funny. It's been, a couple of weeks, but a couple of weeks ago, it was just a funny week, but a bunch of people kind of let me know where the results were, people that I've been working with for over the year. And, it was like 3 people, but they'd all lost right about 15% of their body weight over the year. And, that's actually a hair tick more than the Ozempic gets in their studies. Ozempic people on average in the studies anyways, drop about 14.5% of their body weight in a year. And it was funny to me because I was like, yeah, we beat them by a little bit, those 3 people anyways. And, but on top of that, what a difference though. You know what I mean? They did it with no medicine in their body. They did it without any of those side effects. But most importantly is they're set up now for success long-term, because the way we work on it, we work on the mindset, the lifestyle, and the eating piece, and creating customized blueprints that you can follow for the rest of your life. So that's the big difference, I think. And it just, we dealt with the core issue anyways. So, I'll take that all day long, but obviously that's me. Yeah. Oh yeah, Vicky. Yeah, that's a good point. What happens when or if the medications aren't available? Yeah, it's tough. And it says, always interesting to hear these lives. Hope I get over binges. I can say I have them less now. That's great, Lorena. KT says, I quit drinking a few years ago, and yeah, I think food is my comfort now, and I lost that with Wegovy. I mean, again, I'm not happy about that, but that's literally what I was thinking. That's why a lot of times you'll find people that were alcoholics that stop with the alcohol end up becoming sugar fiends. That's why a lot of times I'll have alcoholic meetings, outside of like ice cream stores or candy shops, because they're eating lots of sugar, and so, again, I personally I don't have a problem with habit switching, or addiction switching personally. I feel like I did it myself. I had a program literally called Addictive Health. And the idea was twofold, one that you don't have to give everything up at once, but the big part was that you can get addicted to healthy things. I have addictive personality, people tell me, and my behaviors have shown that over life. But I feel that I'm as addicted to healthy things now as I was to unhealthy things. And that's a nice place for me to be. I like being there, but yeah, I get it. I think a lot of people I always bring this part up because I think emotional eating is at the foundation of all weight issues at the end of the day. Short of some real extreme physical issue going on with you, I think it's always emotional eating, because if you weren't emotional eating, you would just be eating for nourishment, and then you would be at your goal weight, your natural weight. And so I think that we live in a society where literally your entire life you have been taught to be an emotional eater. You have been taught and conditioned to use food as your main emotional management strategy. And I think that how are you ever going to be able to get control of your eating until you're able to genuinely deal with your emotions without food, which is why I teach a whole section on emotions, how to deal with your emotions. So, I don't know, something to think about. I don't know. Like, dieters don't ever think about the deeper things because they get so like upset and then they jump into their diet. They're always thinking about weight loss on a very superficial level. In terms of their goals, I just want to look better, down to their strategies. I'm just going to eat better. I have not seen much success with that approach. And so I have seen a lot of success when you take a more holistic approach. And I think I compared a lot to substance abuse and the evolution of that. And if you start in the 80s with just say no, which is what diets are basically, and then you see now the, approach to substance abuse is a much more holistic, multimodality approach to solving it. And so I think that's the solution for mastering your weight too. I think is having a multimodality, comprehensive, holistic approach to doing it. And if you learn those things, you master it, but you dieters are just winging it. You're an addict trying to just say no. And that has a very low likelihood of success. Documented. It's proven. And yet you keep doing it. That's literally the reason I get out every day, just to try and enlighten people and get the word out that there's other ways to approach your weight other than dieting. And hopefully when you hear another way, it makes dieting seem like a fucking goofy approach. That's what I want. That's why I'm so mean to people. I love that. I like the guy who's like, oh yeah, you don't eat meat. You're not a real man then. It's like, yeah, you're mean to people. It's always that way, isn't it? It's always the people that are, slinging the shit that are the first to be a baby when it's flung back at them in any way. E says, I needed hand holding and PYT's been that for me. Thanks, Jim. You're welcome, E. And E's a perfect example. I say this all the time with E because E comes into the program with lots and lots of experience and wisdom and knowledge. And I think programming yourself then a lot of times becomes that thing you need to convert the knowledge and the wisdom you have into reality. Again, you all sit there knowing what to do and being able to do it are two totally different things. So keep studying your diets, keep learning what to do. It's you have to get to learning how to do it. And you're never studying that stuff. You think willpower is the way. It ain't. Willpower is not the way. It's a piece of the puzzle, right? I mean, we use willpower, but we don't rely on it exclusively. So yeah. I'm going to write a quick note to myself. I'll never remember that note again. All right. Yeah. Marcy says, I've noticed decrease in binging. Just finished the 8-week program. Oh, nice job, Marcy. Yeah, I didn't know you're finished. Yeah, if you want me to restart, you let me know. And I'm going to show you some information about the Thrive program. And Shireen, I don't think Shireen's here, but oh my goodness. I know you've emailed me. The Thrive program, I should have ready to go tomorrow for anyone that wants to get in that. But great job, Marcy. So I can restart. You can go into the Thrive, either one. And again, Marcy's using the thing. Thanks, Rebecca. Marcy is using the program. And again, it's about creating strategies, strategies that work for you. It's always mindset and strategies. Those are the two core things that we always work on specifically, There's Dylan. Is bacon and there it is. Dylan says, is bacon and fried egg okay for breakfast? Yeah, I'd say it's okay. It's not what I would eat in my worldview. I think that, I'm a vegetarian, so I believe the vegetarian propaganda, but I say that, again, I like to acknowledge my biases. Okay. And so I'm biased against meat. I'm an old school vegetarian that still believes this stuff about saturated fats. I just do. I see people say that's not true. Okay. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm not against meat. I'm usually against farmed animals. So if you're eating, because again, like everything food wise in our culture for the last 100 years, everything's optimized around economics, not nutrition. And so animals, especially, I eat fish. I would never eat a farmed salmon. I would never eat a farmed fish. It's unnatural. It's weird. It's a low quality food in my book. I wouldn't eat it. And so when it comes to meat, land animals, if I ate land animals, I would follow the same thing. So again, a fried egg, I eat fried eggs on the weekends. I don't eat bacon. But so I'm not against it. I don't think that would be my normal breakfast. You know what I mean? But I don't necessarily have a problem with it. At least it's natural food, so I think you got an advantage there over like eating that bullshit Nestle cereal that some of you all are eating, the fitness one. But so yeah, I don't know. It wouldn't be my everyday breakfast, I don't think, because I'm nervous about saturated fats. But if you don't believe in saturated fat theory, then but wait, you got heart issues. So I don't know. I don't know. A lot of manly men don't believe in saturated fat contributing to heart issues. So again, I like to meet people where they're at. I'm not here to convince you anything. And so if you believe that meat's really good and that saturated fat and cardiovascular disease relation is bullshit, then great minds can disagree. But yeah. So again, I kind of have biases with that. But Queen Victoria says, I so appreciate what you're doing, Jim. I get some gem of wisdom each time I tune in. Well, thank you, Queen Victoria. I love that name too. I like the Queen. Santina, I'm finding just like a song can transport you to a time, a memory has me wanting a specific food. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's the hypnotic nature of our brains. We all anchor things to the past, smells especially, never mind. Memories and songs can transport us back. Smells are the most powerful memory evokers. They're actually wired. Smells the one sense that's wired different in our brain. So it's like smells, that like you have a certain smell and instantly bring you back, it's wired different. So it's not unusual, Santina. So it's not about being worried about that. It's about being aware of it first. And then you use, the program yourself. Then you learn the tools to kind of change that up the way you want it to. All right. Tom says, do you imagine a time in the future where GLP-1 injections are cheap and widely available? Yeah, I do. I think that's how medicine works and the economy works. So I would imagine that there will be a lot more. And on top of that, this is really just the beginning of these, because what they said, I forget the words they said, but the big thing about GLP-1 is they realized that a lot of these, there's a lot of hormones produced in the gut. And they're like, that's the treasure chest of weight management moving forward medically. And so I think not only will there be GLP-1 hormone injections that are way cheaper, but I think there's going to be alternatives and enhanced versions of that as well, widely available and cheap. Because again, what's happened is, the food companies took all the satiety out of the food, right? They took all the satiety and satisfaction out of the food, and now they're selling you back the satiety. So it's just a big old loop of jerking you around. And so yeah, keep eating their bullshit foods and then get the injections so that you lose weight and don't eat too much. But so, yeah, I suppose there will be. Dylan said, I even switched my Twix for a protein bar. Great job. Again, I mean, that's a step in the right direction, but protein bars aren't healthy either. I mean, they're healthier than a Twix bar for sure. But again, you got to hear this stuff. I've gone through the protein bar things with people all the time. And it's just important to understand because we have a skewed concept of health and healthy food. Okay. And so really that skewed view is really almost always processed food. It's like, it's all processed food and what's healthy here. And then this little bit of fruits and vegetables, And so, people think protein bars are healthy. They're not. They're healthier than a Twix bar, but they're not healthy. They're going to cause you to be hungrier. But it's got protein in it though. Yeah. Protein is not the only thing. It's over-indexed. You'll still be hungry. And so a lot of times protein bars contribute to more hunger because they're full of sugar and bullshit. And anyways, but great job. Again, it's a step in the right direction. So I celebrate that because Program Yourself Thin's built around 1% better every day. And so going from a Twix bar to a protein bar is a big improvement. So that's great. But don't think there's still ways to go, depending how healthy you want to be and what your goals are, obviously. Santina says, oh yeah, where do you find the sessions on motivations? Oh, you're going to love this. It's not a session, it's a training. And it's one of my favorite trainings of all because, listen, the best thing I ever learned really as a hypnotist, yoga meditator, NLP trainer is how to influence my emotions. I think the most important piece of the whole puzzle. And so go to the bonus section, go to the membership area, go to the bonus section, scroll down to Mindset Mastery, click on that. And then it's the 4th training, emotions. And watch that and answer the questions. And I think you're going to be gobsmacked. It's so good. And watch that before you get on the call because we'll be able to I'll talk you through it, but you'll come in with a bit of information already. Letty says, haven't gotten to the emotion part of the program yet, but damn, I hope it's helpful. It's super helpful because listen, folks, we generate our emotions. How about that? I know a lot of you are at the mercy of your emotions and you think they just appear, but you're generating them. The way you think, you're generating emotions. Listen, there's stimuli, there's interpretation, and then there's the feeling. And so we can be in a stimuli, interpret it different, and feel different. And the absolute max proof of this is Viktor Frankl, the Jewish psychiatrist whose whole family and himself were put into a concentration camp, wrote a whole book on it, Man's Search for Meaning. And it's all about how they could not take his brain. They couldn't control what he thought. And so, again, understanding how you generate emotions, to me, I think it's probably the most important skill in life. It's kind of the same thing, your internal dialogue and how you talk to yourself. They're one and the same, KT says, not to mention weird stuff that started happening to my face and muscles, even though I was strength training. Yeah. I mean, again, it's a pretty powerful substance that they're just beginning to understand. Dylan says, sorry, man, I know that was mean. I wasn't expecting you to be a good person. That's okay, Dylan. I go through this all the time. I've argued with so many people, but I will tell you, everyone I've ever got an argument with on these podcasts ends up kind of being a regular. And so I find it fun. I don't take it personally. I know it's fine. People who don't eat meat are usually so judgmental anyways. Oh, that's fair. I'll accept that. I am not one of them, but I think that's a fair thing. Where they always say like, CrossFit people and vegans, right? Fair enough. Vegetarians are right there too. They were the precursors to that. So I respect that, so that's fair enough. That's why, to be honest, when I'm on here, I'm never promoting vegetarianism. I really don't, because it's the right fit for me. But at the same time, I don't know. I'm still not 100 convinced. I think meat can be a healthy part of a diet if it's high quality meat. You have to understand, we ate meat there's a chunk of time where we eat lots of meat. Okay. However, the meat we were eating was animals that were grazing hundreds of square miles. So they were basically nutrient aggregators. So by the time we were eating them, they were aggregating all the nutrients in nature so we could eat them in a concentrated form. And the animals we're eating now, not so much. They're raised on feedlots. They're fed corn diets that aren't their natural diets. They're not getting around eating different nutrients. So that worries me. And that was my main thing. Again, listen, the animal welfare is part of it, but the bigger part was really, I thought giving up meat made it a lot easier to control my weight. And I feel like it's a lot healthier for me. Again, I buy into that propaganda. You don't have to, but That's what I think. But I don't, again, for me personally, my golden rule of program yourself thin is that there's no right or wrong. There's only what works for you. So I'm never here trying to convince you what to do. Other than structure your diet. I think you got to structure your eating. That's the one and only thing I think you've got to do, but outside of that, you know what I mean? I've seen everything work. You can eat whatever you want. I don't know, eat your diet, whatever diet you choose to have. I've seen people lose weight on all kinds of diets. So I'm not out here. This isn't a vegetarian podcast. That's what I do, pescatarians specifically. But yeah, I find that annoying too. I think when people try and like always convince you of what they do, I find that unappealing too. So I can respect that for sure. Yeah. User 472, what's your normal breakfast? A normal breakfast for me now, I have two types of breakfast. So I have clean eating, pleasure eating. Clean eating days, my breakfast typically is Ezekiel bread, natural peanut butter, an apple, natural peanut butter. And then I drink a bunch of water. That's a typical breakfast for me. I've begun adding a couple days a week where I'll have a smoothie with it as well, just to kind of increase the nutrient diversity each week. On my pleasure days, a typical breakfast could be anything, but it typically will include eggs. I'll usually eat eggs on the weekends. Maybe I'll have like a bagel sandwich with eggs, and avocado and salsa. That's a normal one I'll have. Might have a donut, might have a muffin or something on the weekends. You know what I mean? My pleasure days. But usually it's an egg-based breakfast typically. Thanks, Lorena. Thanks for all those gifts. Dylan, is satiety even a word? I always love when people ask that because it absolutely is a word, and it really reveals how, don't get offended by this word, but how ignorant Americans really are about diet, right? Because the fact that you don't know satiety is the whole game, right? Dieters subconsciously are trying to be as hungry as possible because they associate the hungrier they are with faster weight loss. And you're never going to win that battle. You're never going to win a battle against your hunger. And the better strategy, I believe, is to manage your hunger so that you're not that hungry. Never get that hungry. And so satiety is the satisfaction that food gives you. And the most satiating foods are protein, high fiber foods, high nourished, nutrient dense foods. These are the higher satiety foods. And fiber is one of the key things. Fiber and protein are two of the top satiating ingredients that you can eat, so that you eat them and you feel satisfied for a while. So it's fiber, protein, nutrients, micronutrients. And the more of these you put into your body, the more satisfied you feel. The more GLP-1 hormone you create, the more satisfied you feel. Now you look at your diet, if it's a processed food diet, they've taken a lot of these things out and you're hungry all the time. Have you noticed that? Haven't you noticed that you can eat 1,000 calories and you're hungry an hour later? It's not just calories that satisfy us. What really truly satisfies us is these nutrients, fiber, protein. These are the things that really tell you. So satiety is a word. And the fact you don't know it is, again, part of the whole plan, because the whole food industry is built around taking the satiety out of the food so that you're always hungry. Because what they care about is selling food. And so the best way to do that is keep you always hungry. Blue Run says 12-step groups have been a holistic approach for a long time. Abstinence is just one aspect of it. So much offered there about living life. No, I get that too. I'm a fan. I've learned stuff from them, and I think it's valuable. So yeah, I know what you're saying. I'm glad you said that too, because yeah, I'm definitely not downplaying that. Nini said, I just ate an eclair. Oh my God. What's a good snack on the go? That's okay. You ate an eclair. It's not the end of the world. All right. Just relax and come up with a better option. So I ate an eclair, and afterward, instead of beating yourself up, say, damn, I don't want to eat eclairs. If I go back in time, what would have been a better option? Great question. What's a better snack on the go? An apple, a banana, some celery, carrots, hard-boiled eggs, beef jerky. I don't know. Dylan says, no way protein bars are unhealthy. Yes, they are. They are. And you can tell me, I'll do this for you, Dylan. You're new here, but let me know what kind of protein bars you eat. Santina says, really, we are generating them. I never thought of this. Yeah. And a lot of people don't. And it's an absolute game changer. I think understanding that you generate your own emotions, to me, is that's what's changed my entire life, from being absolutely out of control with my emotions, absolutely out of control with my emotions, to being a lot more in control of them. So yeah, choosing emotions. Yeah, choosing emotions. Yeah, like even to the point, folks, what would you like to feel? What would you like to feel more of? Crazy question, right? What a crazy question. Have you ever even thought about that? What do you want to feel more of? You never think of that. But I could make you feel any emotion I want to make you feel right now. I'm a hypnotist. I can make you feel any emotion I want to make you feel. You can make yourself feel any emotion you want to feel instantly. Crazy. A lot of you dieters, right? They say, oh, well, once I lose the weight, then I'll feel confident. Once I lose the weight, then I'll feel successful. It might be a good idea to feel confident and successful now to help you get to the weight loss goal. Dylan said the one I had was Bear Ball. Oh, Bear Balls. Yep. It was literally 2 grams of sugar and 200 calories. Man, you shocked me. But I will tell you, we went through this, right? The Bear Bell protein bar. And I'll show you what I mean. And again, I want to make crystal clear. I think it's better than a Twix bar. Okay, I can't state that enough. But here's the ingredients for a Bear Bell. It starts, right? We all know ingredients in order of quantity, right? So it starts with milk protein blend, calcium, caseinate, whey protein, concentrate, whey protein, isolate, then glycerin, maltitol, which is sugar, bovine collagen, hydrolysate, polydextrose, cocoa butter, water, soy protein isolate, dry whole milk, sunflower oil, unsweetened chocolate, tapioca starch, natural and artificial flavors. So again, I'm not judging. I'm not judging, but again, for me, and that's probably your breakfast. I bet that's your breakfast. My breakfast is sprouted grain bread, natural peanut butter, an apple, natural peanut butter. And I think you'll find the more natural you start steering your diet towards is transformative. You don't know what that shit does to you. They probably don't know what any shit does to you. Probably sells lots of protein bars is what it does, and sells lots of other food. But again, it's up to you. When you eat the bar, how long are you satisfied for? You know? So again, I this is what I mean too. Like I live in a different paradigm. To me, I value whole natural foods. When I see an ingredient list like that, I kind of avoid it, just to be honest, you know. I don't want to eat that. It's like, you ever seen Soylent Green? That's what it feels like to me. And 200 calories, right? So who gives a shit 200 calories? You know, like, let me know how satisfied are you? How long is it? And again, maybe you're at your ideal weight. I know the health's not great, but yeah, again, I live in a different paradigm. So I'm not saying anyone has to believe what I believe, but that definitely would not be what I would eat. Don says you wake them up. Yeah, there goes KT. Yeah, we've looked at the Bear Bells, right? They aren't horrible, just not a natural whole food. Yeah, exactly. And I just think, and again, you all, I'm not trying to convince you, but if you're struggling, you know, and again, if you're happy with your weight and you're happy with your health and everything's great, then I would suggest not listening to me. Just to be honest, I'm not trying to change what you're doing to something better. I work with people that want to lose weight that have not been able to do it. And I show people how to live at their goal weight for the rest of their lives on near autopilot. That's what I do. And so if someone comes to me, they're not getting the results they want. And so again, I can't say if there goes Carrie. Yeah, she knows. Nancy, yeah, right. Barbells for a candy fix. Agreed. That's what I would think. But yep, user 472. Thank you. Love listening. Ezekiel bread. What are the benefits? The benefits of Ezekiel bread, I think, is it's a whole grain. You know, it's slower absorption. So again, this is my problem with protein bars in general and processed foods in general, is that they're usually stripped of fiber. And so what happens is you absorb it really quick. So you get spikes of glucose a lot of times. And I'm not saying with Bear Bells you're getting that, but a lot of processed foods, you take an apple. Says that's a moron yesterday, and he says he's a doctor, but I doubt it, because this is kind of a dumb shit thing to say. But he was saying that the sugar in a donut's the same chemically as the sugar in an apple, and that's not true. One's fructose and one's sucrose. There's that. But then the other piece is that's misleading at best. Even if they were the same, it's still misleading because the donut is devoid of any fiber. And so when you eat that donut, the flour and sugar are absorbed into your body quick. And that's why it creates a blood sugar spike, which leads to all sorts of things. The apple, they could have the same amount of sugar in it. The apple sugar is going to be released slowly. So you're not getting that spike crash effect. You're getting a slow release of energy over time. And so that's my issue with processed foods in general, is because there's no fiber, you're getting a spike effect typically of glucose, and as opposed to natural foods are all, there's almost always fibers, a lot of fiber in natural foods. And so it slows down the absorption of food. And on top of that, the fiber supports a healthy microbiome, creates more GLP. It's a holistic effect. It's not just one thing. And that's what you have to start. That's why when I look at a Barbell ingredients, I'm just like, and shit. I mean, you could show me like a Lara bar. That's all natural. And that's like real ingredients you would understand and say the words of. But still, I don't want, it's not its natural form. And so maybe I sound crazy with this, but it's like, again, once you start thinking in a holistic way, scientists don't even know what they're doing. They don't really. I mean, yeah, they know how to make a delicious food, but I don't think they really know the ultimate holistic effect these things have on us. And so if you want to play that game, knock yourselves out. I'm not trying to convince you, but you'd have a hard time convincing me that eating whole natural foods that we've been eating for millions of years is a bad idea. You know what I mean? And I feel great. And again, ultimately it's about, are you getting the results you want? And if you are, great. Like if someone came to me, well, I eat McDonald's every day and I weigh exactly what I want, I feel amazing. I said, great. Keep going. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't give a shit. I don't care. But what I'm saying is most of the people here are people that are struggling to lose weight. You know what I mean? So then I point out some of the things, and I've had plenty of people struggling to lose weight that are living off of protein bars. It's a normal thing. Protein bars are coded as being healthy. And again, it's all relative. And said, wow, you're actually right. I can eat like 8 times a day and still be hungry. Yeah. But even when I eat meat, it doesn't fully satisfy. Yeah, I'm not surprised because you need nutrients. And I don't know, the whole meat nutrient thing. I don't buy into it. I just don't. I don't know how you're going to tell me like a deer that lives out in nature and grazes over a 300-mile radius, how that meat's not going to be healthier than a cow or a pig that's been raised on a feedlot eating corn. I don't know. And with the antibiotics pumped into it its whole time in a stressful environment, what do they call it? I'm not going to do it to y'all. I'm not going to do it to you. I'm not going to do the meat propaganda stuff. But what I am saying is, again, I'm not against meat. I'm against farm meat. You're going to argue with me that that's a healthy meat? How could it be? How could you compare those two and say they're both the same? What's that mean? I mean, what world are we living in? So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. And by the way, I need to make clear too, that you can eat meat. You could eat a carrot or you could eat an apple. Oh, I'm still hungry. It's an accumulated effect. Okay. And so I will tell you, when I started eating the salads 5 years ago, the first couple of weeks, I felt kind of shitty in the sense that I felt like someone poured concrete in my gut. And I was like, oh my God, I was eating more beans in the salad and I was eating the salad, all this fiber. But then it all kind of normalized. Now I feel amazing. And so my point is that it takes a little bit there's an accumulation factor. And so I'm not saying you can just eat an apple, now you're full. It doesn't work that way. If you start eating an apple every day, it starts to have an impact. And so, again, it's a holistic approach. It's a long-term approach, no doubt about it. But I'm glad, at the very least, I'm really glad you realize that you can eat 8 times a day. I can't, not when I eat the way I eat. I mean, I could certainly go back to eating bullshit and eat 8 times a day. I used to eat, I say this a lot, but I used to eat, a typical day for me is I would eat like Wonder Bread with Jif peanut butter. I would eat cereal, which wasn't that bad. It would be like Cheerios or Rice Krispies, but then I put a bunch of sugar over it with milk. And then that would be my breakfast. And then within an hour or so, I'd usually have a donut, a muffin, or a croissant, one of those. Then I would have lunch a couple hours later. It's usually a sandwich with chips, usually followed by a cookie or a brownie or something. Then the afternoon would come and I'd usually get a snack. Usually I get a bag of chips, probably a candy bar or some candy, maybe a soda. Then I'd eat dinner, which was usually the healthiest thing in terms of like tons of carbs and butter and fat and all that. But at least it was whole ingredients typically that my mom would make. And then I would eat all night. I would snack all night. You know what I mean? Pretty much another 500, 600, 700 calories. And I would do that every night. And it was just the only reason I stopped eating is I had to go to sleep, So again, when you start focusing on your hunger, it's amazing. Cause I know you all think like the calories are what's making you full, but then how come you can eat so much and still be hungry right after it? I'm not. I'll eat a salad in about 10 minutes and I will be completely satisfied for the next 3.5 hours. I used to go into dinner even when I mastered the weight and I was eating a lot healthier, but my breakfast or my lunch, which was actually more calories than my salad is, but there was way less fiber and nutrients in it. And I would eat that lunch and I would always go into dinner really, really hungry. And once I started eating the salad after about a month or so, I started going into dinner. And to this day, I go into dinner, it feels like 60% less hunger. Literally, it feels that way. And that's really helpful. It's been really helpful. Mama says, does your program cover what to eat ideas? Yeah, absolutely. And it's really cool. I was just testing out with one of my Thrive group, which is kind of my high level group. I was showing them, my wife made a meal planner. It's awesome. And so it's really good for generating ideas right off the go. But yeah, I don't tell you what to eat because there's a little bit of legalese around that, right? I'm not a nutrition or dietitian. So I say I'm a nourishment. I talk about nourishment and I use that word very specifically. So there are a number of trainings about nourishment and I think what I consider to be best practices and, how to think about your food. And once you start basing it on this, it's very quickly, because it's a game changer for most people. Most of you don't think this way. You think in terms of calories. And again, it's not your fault. You've been conditioned to think in calories because, right, listen, and I know I just said this, but all the diets that you every time you reference weight loss, how to lose weight, you're referencing the big diets. And all the big diets are owned by big food companies. Weight Watchers was owned by Heinz. Jenny Craig was owned by Nestle. Atkins Food Products is owned by the same company that owns Auntie Anne's Pretzels and Cinnabon. Slim Fast is owned by the same company that owns Ben & Jerry's. These companies do not want you to lose weight. They want you to buy their diets for a little while and fill your head with rocks so you never know what the fuck to do, and then put the weight back on and go back to eating their bullshit. And so the main way that they've done that weight-wise is they've gotten you absolutely obsessed and fixated on the calorie. A calorie is a calorie. And while technically there is some truth to that, in reality and in context, it's a very, very kind of misleading and limited way to think about it. And so that's what I bring a lot more context of how to eat in a way to truly live at your goal weight, And so to live at your goal weight, again, this is the difference, right? Diets are all about getting to your goal weight. And Program Yourself Thin is about living at your goal weight. And those strategies are completely different. So to lose weight, yeah, you just drastically cut calories. And you can do that. You can just decide, okay, from now on, I'm just going to eat half as many calories. Okay. And you can do that for a little while because you're really fired up and motivated. Okay, great. But long-term, you're not going to be able to maintain that level of willpower and motivation. And so long-term weight loss really is about creating a holistic plan, which part of it is, if I eat this, my hunger is managed so that I don't get as hungry. I manage it and I know what I can eat for breakfast that comfortably gets me to lunch, what I can eat at lunch that comfortably gets me to dinner, and what I can eat at dinner that comfortably gets me back to breakfast. Do you all have that? Do you? Have you ever even thought that before? Have you ever even once thought of that concept? And I know the answer is no. So I do know that. And it took me a little bit of time to figure it out and get there. But now that's what I share with my clients. And it's going to take you, if you join the program, it's going to take you a little bit of time to figure out what works for you because you ain't me. And so I could tell you what I eat, but who gives a shit? Because you're not me. You don't live my lifestyle. You don't have my flavor preferences. You don't have my genetics. And so that may or may not work for you. But I can give you guidelines of things to experiment with. And the goal is we're looking to figure out what can I eat here in breakfast that comfortably gets me to lunch. But that's the paradigm we're existing with in Program Yourself Thin because it's set up forever. What are you doing? Why aren't you starting your diet? Because it's 100% shift in what you have to do and it's overwhelming. You don't want to do it, which is why you're not doing it. And what I'm talking about is once you know, because it's not even just about what to eat, part of the criteria is also what's relatively enjoyable. What do I enjoy? When you do a diet and you hate it, I don't know what you're doing. You're just wasting time. And so part of it's got to be I relatively enjoy it. I love peanut butter. I don't know how you eat peanut butter every day. Who gives a shit? You don't have to fucking know how. I like it and I keep eating every day and it keeps working. I don't care. So whatever. And there's probably foods like that for you. No, Jim, I need more variety. Great. Factor in more variety. Okay. And the second thing is got to be easy to make. You got to make it easy. All of those, you with your meal plans, right? Your crazy meal plans. Okay. You're starting your diet already overwhelmed and exhausted. And now you're just going to add on to that with some crazy meal plan. You're going to do that for about a week and then quit. So I don't know. It's just, it's funny. Yeah. Parabell's for candy. That was a funny one. Yep. Carries his eat more fiber. Dylan says, I wish to fix my health problems, but now I feel lost, not sure what to eat. Yeah, it feels that way. I get that, but it's not just the food though. I'll try and tell you that, Dylan. It really is. A lot of it's mindset. So I always think of like the weight mastery pyramid. I almost think of like a tree in a sense too, metaphorically, where there's the underground part, which is the mindset. And then there's the physical part, which is the lifestyle and eating. And I would suggest for you, I can almost guarantee the lifestyle piece for you is probably pretty out of whack. And so the lifestyle piece is really important too, A, for your health, and B, to support the new eating patterns, but real helpful. But again, Dylan, go watch the video I made. That'll give you at least a more holistic view of what I'm talking about, because the frustrating thing about these podcasts, I'm all over the place. So it's like, I'm not giving you like a solid A to Z explanation of what we're doing here, but you can get one free. Just go to my bio, click the link, get the hypnosis session, and watch the video. It's all free stuff, Letty said, I order Royo bread and bagels, and I want to know what you think of their nutritional numbers. I don't know what that is. Let's find out real quick. Royal bread ingredients. The 4 ingredients. Oh, 30 calorie artisan bread. I like that. Let's see. All right. It looks good at first. Let's see. Keto friendly, high fiber, non-GMO. Ingredients and nutrition. Let's see. All right. Wheat resistant starch, wheat protein, oat fiber, wheat bran, whole grain. Yeah, at first glance, I think that looks great. That looks pretty good to me. That looks good to me. I mean, what you're looking to avoid, I don't see flour in there. You know what I mean? You really don't want to start your day with flour. Why? Because flour is ground down to nothing, and you absorb it quickly. So you get a spike, crash. Now I'm hungry again. So that at first glance, that royal bread looks great. All right, it says emotions equal emotions and motions. I got to move to process. Yes, I clean when I'm angry. Fair enough. That's a great strategy. Great one too. Dylan says, oh, I have peanut butter too. Yeah, peanut butter. I like peanut butter. Now it's whole natural peanut butter, right? So it's peanuts ground down. Great, So I used to eat Jif, right? That wasn't the easiest transformation at first, but you get used to the new stuff. I didn't change everything at once. I focused on kind of one thing at a time. But the whole natural peanut butter was important to me because I don't want to start my day with a bunch of sugar in my body. That's setting me up for failure. So I think peanut butter is great, though. Mari says, but dance is the best for changing weight for me. Yes, that's a great one. Letty says, yeah, I do process emotion when exercising, but usually ruminate. Yes, be careful of that. Jif peanut butter sandwich, is that healthy then? Not in my book. I wouldn't eat a Jif peanut butter sandwich. Although I did eat one a couple weeks ago on vacation, and it was all right. But it was, again, I don't make food decisions primarily based on if it tastes good only. You know what I mean? I make them, just like you all. I mean, y'all make these decisions already. Like, you don't just I don't know. Angelico. Nancy says colonics are a good idea for GLP-1 users. There you go. Proof backed up. That's funny. Soylent Green, right? PYT Dance Club. There it is. Oh, actually, that's cool. For you PYT people, I got good news. And this, I'll get going today or tomorrow, is a Facebook group just for PYT clients. I know I've talked about the PYT group and I have one, but I've really been hesitating because, again, it's the blind leading the blind problem I'm really worried about. I really worry about groups where all of a sudden it's people just, and that's what's been preventing me from kicking that group off again. But yesterday, and again, so obvious when someone said it, but they're like, just have a group for the clients, people in the program. So I will have that, and you will get an email for that tomorrow or this weekend. And so, yeah, it'll be all the PYT people will be able to get together. So I'm super excited about that. And that'll be something, again, even if you're not in any of the continuing programs, it'll just be a way for you to connect with other PYT people. And I'll still do things in there occasionally too, as well. So I'm really excited about that. Maybe we could kick it off with a dance club in there. 1968, what bars are the best? Best bars, I don't know. Maybe Lara bars, Kind bars. Maybe those are where I'd go, but that's my opinion. So one man's garbage is another man's gold. Carrie says, start where you are, use what you have, do what you can. Agreed. KT, factory farming is what you're thinking of, I think, Jim. Yeah, Abby, absolutely. I'm not talking about, I don't know what you call them, artisan farmers, but I am certainly not talking about small farmers that are raising cows on fields and they're eating grass, what they normally eat. Chickens that are, free range, eating out in the grass, eating bugs that, I'm not talking about those. I think those are great, relatively. Yeah, Blue Run says Facebook group sounds good. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. I'm so excited about it, and I wish I had done that earlier, but it'll be here now. And anyone who's been part of the program will get an invite into that. So that's gonna be exciting. Bathong says, one of my favorite prompts from you came true. After 5 months of hard work, I woke up at my goal weight. Bathong, I'm so proud of you. That is so great. And that's such a great feeling, isn't it? It felt good imagining it. It felt even better actually doing it. Proud of you. Congratulations. That is awesome. Drolly says, you should have mentioned the salad trick years ago. I know. I only learned it a couple years ago, but I tell everyone I can. I made a video. It's pinned on my thing. If you want to see the salads I make, they're a little different now. I made that like a year or two ago, but go check that out. And yeah, the salad thing's big. Great strategy. Free to laugh now. Breakfast like a king, lunch like a prince, dinner like a pauper. Agreed. Bathong, now the real hard work of maintenance begins. Yes, Bathong. Oh, Bathong, yeah, consider the program. That's all we do. What's up, Astrid? How's it going? I have a protein shake I love, and I really enjoy walking. 2 big things taken care of. Yeah, great job. That's great. Dylan said, which video? I've watched many. Yeah, it's in my bio, so click my bio. And this is for all of you. If you're not in my world, click the link in my bio, get the free hypnosis session, and it brings you to the page of the video. Watch that video. That's really good. And I got new videos coming for y'all anyways, even just free videos. I got a bunch of cool stuff coming. So make sure you get on my list. Okay, nice. I'll check it out. Thank you. Changed my whole life. Good, Dylan. That's awesome. Mama says, will you please go over the different programs and costs you offer? Yeah, I mean, there's basically 2 big ones right now. There'll be a third one being offered in the next couple of weeks here. But basically, the main program is Program Yourself Then System, which has 3 components to it. It has the hypnosis. So every day for 8 weeks, you get a morning hypnosis session that's 5 minutes long. Each one's different. And so you get to practice hypnosis, relaxing, calming down. And you get these great mantras put in your mind. Each session is built around a weight loss mantra. So I developed this thin mantra for you. At night, there's a 10-minute hypnosis session if you choose to listen to it to bookend your day. And so that's the hypnosis piece of the puzzle. The next one is the Program Yourself Then method, where I show you how to use the redo rehearsal technique. And this is so you can program your own subconscious mind to take control of your behaviors, your thoughts, your emotions. And I think this is the real core of mastering your weight long term. And then finally is the weight mastery blueprints, where I take you through a workbook to customize your own weight mindset blueprint, lifestyle blueprint, eating blueprint that you will follow to get to your goal weight and then live at your goal weight for the rest of your life. That program, just the home study version that you do on your own, $297. If you choose to work with me personally for 8 weeks, where I coach you on a group coaching call twice a week, it's $1,000 right now. That's going up to $2,000 the next week or two. And then there will be a program coming that is just the hypnosis. And again, I make very clear, this is going to be good for weight loss. I can make you lose weight. Okay. But if you want to master your weight, I believe you've got to learn these other 2 pieces. And so that'll be available for $100 in another week or two. So that's kind of the programs. And you can go to programyourselfthen.com and learn more about those if you choose to. But again, got to get out of here. So if anyone wants to get into my world, please go to my bio, click the link, get the hypnosis session, watch the video, read the emails. I will help you out for free. All of that stuff's for free. And the podcast is Program Yourself Then. You can listen to it. It's on all the platforms. And if you ever have questions, get on the lives. The lives are every day, Monday through Friday, usually around noonish. And get on here and ask. I'm happy to help you out. I'll be mean to you too for free, just to help you. Mama said, you convinced me. I'm signing up. Awesome. I'm looking forward to seeing the program. I can't wait. I always love my clients, and I'm super excited about the Facebook group. I'm so excited about this. It'll be a way we kind of all get together. And I'm excited how this goes, because again, the people that I do know in the program are world-class, awesome ass people. And so I'm super excited for the people that are joining the program to be able to have their guidance too, because these people in the Thrive group, the Thrive coaching group specifically, are superstars in the program, and they'll be able to help you out as well and really get extra out of the programs. That's why I'm so excited about this group. I wish I'd done this a while ago, but that's okay. Better late than never. So that'll be there as well. So yeah, looking forward to seeing the program, Mama, and anyone else who joins it. I look forward to seeing you. And for the rest of you, get on the email list and you'll see me in your email inbox, and I'll look forward to seeing you in there. That's when you get the program. So thanks a lot, everyone. Have a super day. We'll talk soon.